I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
I gotta be honest with you, I struggled with this video because there's just so much. The Democrats have completely lost their minds. It is official. We have dangerous, loose mental asylum escapees or something of the equivalent running around our country. And it's all because of you, propagandist media. It's all because of you, corporate mainstream media, who have lied and fed pollution to our fellow American brothers and citizens. Those of you watching across the world, across the globe, in the UK, Australia, Europe, in China, Asia, South America, you know exactly what I'm talking about as well. So bear with me. We've got a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of hypocrites to expose today. Grab your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, sit back, relax. Your boy Nez is going to take care of everything. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Remember this guy, Representative Shri Thanandar, the guy who's literally got a dead ferret on top of his head, as well as ran a complete beagle torture center as a business and then left them to die. Well, he's complaining now. He's just now introducing, actually officially, his articles of impeachment, which is just insane and absurd. But in this clip here, he's complaining about what people like me are saying about him online.
They talk about my hair. They talk about my hair. They talk about my appearance. They talk about where I was born. They talk about everything, my looks. They talk about my age. They talk about why I should be deported back to the country where I was born. They talk about my past business dealings and they distort my business record. They do everything.
And we're going to continue to talk about you, my friend, because you are an evil swine cockroach, my friend, and you have no business being in our Congress, not whatsoever. And by the way, before you start jumping on me saying, Nez, how dare you, how you make fun of it. No. This guy is one of the biggest frauds. I know I say that a lot because it's just a mountain of frauds in this caucus now, but this guy really takes it to a whole other level. Watch this quick clip of him being questioned about his very own district that he's supposed to represent, and he cannot answer a single question. Watch this.
I don't know.
What are the 5 Gross Points cities?
Well, look, I'm not here to answer a quiz. I'm here to say that I'm going to fight for the people of Detroit. I'm going to fight for my constituents.
And Grosse Pointe
and all of the Grosse
Taylor.
Points and all of Taylor and every part of the 13th district.
Okay, I'm just do this real quick. Grosse Pointe Park, Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Farms, and Grosse Pointe Shores. Okay. You know, on your campaign filings, it says occupation. Yours says United States government. Aren't you employed by the people of the United States?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, you fix that one. Okay, and finally, you're getting nailed with this one. The beagles. You abandoned the beagles, left them to die in their cages at your pharmaceutical testing.
Yes, my friend, if you don't even know what you're representing and you don't even understand the cities which you're supposed to be representing, my friend, you're going to get called out time and time again. Leave the beagles alone. Can't wait to get your comments on that. The man doesn't even know his own 13th district. Make it make sense, America. Okay, in this next clip, Democrat Daniel Goldman, who is a special kind of swine, I put him on the kind of new Mount Insanity morons. It's Schiff, Pencil Dick Schiff, Chris Murphy. Oh, Chris Murphy is such swine. Goldman and this Swalwell guy. You could probably throw in a bunch more in there, but those are kind of like the new disgusting, spineless, heartless face of this Democratic caucus. Watch as he fights tooth and nail for confirmed, verifiable MS-13 criminal illegal gang thug Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and watch as Department of Homeland Secretary Noem absolutely destroys him.
What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia to allow him to get due process?
Abrego Garcia is in his home country.
What
If he were to come
steps
back here,
have
your
you
advocacy-
taken?
If your continued advocacy for him were to...
I'm not advocating for him.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
advocating for a
Absolutely.
court order, Madam
Gone to the
Secretary.
mat for this
The
man
court
who
order
has terrorized
says
people
that
in
you
traffic
must take
with human
steps
beings.
to follow the court order. You are here under oath. What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia pursuant to this court order?
It's got to be extremely discouraging to be one of your constituents. To see you fight for a terrorist like this and not fight for them is extremely alarming to me.
I'm fighting for due process, and that's under the Constitution.
Gentleman's
and you
time
should
has
fight too.
expired.
I have something I want to say. Maybe if taxpayers dress up as MS-13 illegal, border-jumping, alien, criminal aliens, maybe then we'll get some support from these guys. I want to remind everybody watching, none of these hypocrites, none of these swine visited North Carolina during the disaster with hurricanes, Florida, East Virginia, California, Los Angeles, the disaster, the worst fire disaster in history. Many of those homeowners still experiencing insurmountable red tape that Karen Bass, the worst mayor in the history of the city, she's absolutely destroying the city, promised she would remove. She never did. We've got the worst governor in the entire history of governorship in Governor Newsom, who's more focused on starting a podcast than he is saving California with gas prices out of control, taxes out of control, crime out of control. He doesn't give a rat's ass. He's going to start a podcast. That's what the Democrats think of us. But wait, there's more. Watch Hakeem Nobody's Dream, the supposed leader of this swine caucus, as I'm kind of recoining them, absolutely refuse to answer any questions, as well as his antiquated walking corpse, Chuck the Buck Schumer, when confronted with the truth. We did a video on this yesterday about Fake Tapper's book, supposedly saying we were lied to about Biden's condition. I'm calling it the greatest scandal in American history. We were governed by a ghost auto pen, not an actual president who was elected. That's a whole nother story as well. But watch as he gets grilled by friendly, loyal network, CNN. And the moment that he creeps away and squirms away like the rat he is, the dollar store Obama he is just beautiful to watch. Check this out.
But President Biden didn't even recognize George Clooney at a fundraiser the movie star was actually hosting for him. Why should voters trust Democrats when it's clear so many in your party went to great lengths to keep Biden's condition hidden from the public?
I can't tell you what happened between George Clooney and President Biden. I wasn't at that event. What I can say is that we're not looking backward. We're going to continue to look forward, because at this moment, we've got real problems that need to be addressed on behalf of the American people, including the Republican effort to snatch away health care, snatch away food assistance, and hurt veterans.
You interacted with President Biden during those days, those final days he was president of the United States. Did you sense there was a major deterioration?
Well, in the conversations that I was able to have on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus in those final days, we simply expressed our perspective as to what would be best for the party at that given moment in time. President Biden subsequently made the decision that he was going to pass the baton to Vice President Kamala Harris. Of course, that was a decision that we supported strongly.
So he didn't answer the question. He didn't admit to lying to the American people. He didn't admit that we had a ghost president. He didn't admit what we saw with our own eyes and ears. Don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe what you and your common natural senses and your natural intelligence knows to be undeniably, unquestionably, unequivocally true. No. He just has these ridiculous talking points. Now we're here to move forward.
Revelations coming out about President Joe Biden's decline with recent books. Is it helpful for your caucus for these to come out now? And would you want Biden to campaign for House Democrats?
We're not looking backward, we're looking forward at this particular moment in time.
Did you really not have any idea that he was not fit to serve a second term?
Casey, we're looking forward.
You're facing all of this because you lost a presidential election. And is that not Joe Biden's responsibility for deciding to run again?
We're looking forward.
That's it?
That's it.
You know how bad things were with President Biden before the election?
When you say how bad things were, I mean, what I can say is I saw him a few times. I certainly went to the White House whenever there was an opportunity for me to make the case for something for people in my state. And I never had the experience of anything other than a guy who brought to the table a lot of good ideas about how to solve problems.
Yeah.
So to the extent people are now saying, well, we thought about whether he should have a wheelchair, which I understand is one of the things that was said. I never heard any of that. I never saw any of that.
All right, fair enough.
How many times have we seen in America? How many times have we seen these coordinated, pre-rehearsed, premeditated, follow the line, toe the line talking points time and time again? Constitutional crisis, threat to democracy, fascists, Nazis, all these things, garbage, whatever. Every single time. Now it's move forward. Everything you're going to hear from now on. It's like this robotic, empty vessel. Nobody has any backbone. Nobody gives a rat's ass about actually calling things the way that the rest of America. And then they wonder why our approval rating is so low. Why we have the least amount of support from Americans. The lowest approval rating in the history of our party. Well, I have a little more juice to add to the giant smoothie. Check out this clip right here. 2 separate Dem representatives caught. Actually, no. Let me take that back. 3 caught snoozing in the act.
No. Mr. Moore.
Sleeping on the job. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what entitlement looks like. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what zero accountability looks like. They're so cavalier. They're so comfortable. They have been, literally sleeping on the job, fighting against the American agenda, fighting against what we voted for, fighting against common sense, fighting to harm our daughters, mothers, sisters, and wives, putting men into their sports, men into their locker rooms, their gym showers, their bathrooms. In a whole litany, fighting for illegal criminal aliens and going bonkers over a few South African ones because they happen to be white, right? Sleeping on the job. This is what entitlement looks like. These guys are so afraid to actually ever hold a real job in their ridiculous, pathetic lives. All the while, Trump has done more in the last 72 hours than any of these swine have done in their entire ridiculous, pathetic careers. All they're doing is fighting America, literally the enemies within, while this guy tirelessly travels to the Middle East, tirelessly worked all over Mother's Day weekend to get ceasefires, multiple deals, a China trade agreement, the stock market, highest stock market we've had in decades, lowest inflation rate we've had in decades. He's flying all over the country. He's in Qatar right now working on investment deals, while these guys asleep at the job.
So this is an amazing week so far. You get a deal with China. I'm just going to list it and then we can get into detail. India and Pakistan played a big role. Hopefully the peace stands. You slash prescription drug prices. Most favored nation, the American people will get first dibs in terms of prices. The last American hostage has been released. We're on this trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar. There's not much going on in your life, is there?
Well, I've been busy, but I've enjoyed it because we're getting things accomplished. We're getting things done. You know, you can have times when you're working very hard and not getting things done. That happens too. But we're getting a lot done. I don't think there's ever been a little period like this with the potential nuclear war. And two countries, they have very good leaders, people I know very well. And, you know, it was a very important process. We got involved with India and Pakistan.
Very lucky, America. I don't think we'll ever know. I think it'll take a long time. I know most of us feel that way. I know most of us kind of understand that intellectually. But I'm telling you right now, we just started to. This is the first 100 days practically. Just going to point right here. This is the mission of our channel, is to make common sense go viral. It's not about right. It's not about left. It's not about Democrat. It's not about Republican. This is about America. This is about standards that we need to uphold. This is about holding these liars to account. So if you love America, tap that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the stories that we shared with you today. I really am eager to see what you have to say. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. We got our free newsletter in the pinned comment description below as well. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. See you soon.